guys, so today I'm going to talk to you about toddler tantrums because we have been dealing with some serious toddler tantrums. I am very sorry that I am out of breath, but I've been running up and down because people keep coming to the door and disturbing my videos, so it's been annoying. But yeah, so today I'm going to talk about toddler tantrums. So Sebastian is just over 2 years old, and his tantrums really did start. I feel like they started probably a good couple of months before he turned 2. He's always been one of these babies that if he doesn't get his own way or if something really upsets him, he'll cry. If he doesn't want to get into the pram, he'll cry. But never the kind of really mega tantrums. He's fiercely independent, Sebastian is, and a lot of children are, and they want to do things themselves, and often they get very frustrated because they can't do things themselves, and it causes mega tantrums. Or they don't, or there's something that they want and they can't have it. Again, that causes mega tantrums. So an example would be this morning, Sebastian, the first thing he said when he got up was "Agin," which means ice cream. He just can't quite say ice cream. And so I said, no ice cream, all gone, you know, whatever, trying to say whatever I could to just convince him that there was no ice cream. And he just wasn't having it. He knows where it's kept. He was hanging off the freezer. And of course, by hanging on, he was like, and then he just went, ah! And then he's on his hands and knees on the floor with his head down, screaming his head off, just really upset. The same thing happened yesterday. He only had a 3/4 of an hour nap. He had been in nursery in the morning. He'd had his lunch, had a very short nap, and he'd woken up at a group that I had decided that we were going to go to anyway. And he'd woken up when we got there, and he was fine for a short while. He decided to go outside and play on the cars but somebody had a car that he wanted, and was it somebody had a car he wanted? I can't remember. Something had happened, or somebody touched the car. Something had happened, something tiny, minor, and it was again all hands on his hands and knees, like screaming, like just absolutely kicking off, would not stand up. You know, you pick him up and you kind of have to hold him away from you because he's kind of kicking and flapping his arms and throwing himself violently across the room. And on those occasions, what I actually do is I leave him in a space that's relatively safe, you know, obviously a hard floor isn't the most ideal place, but I will clear out the side, and I just leave him to just get his aggression out. He can't vocalise what is kind of up with him. Sometimes he can, but not often at the moment. So he'll try to. He'll just scream ice cream, or he'll scream, you know, car or daddy or something. He'll scream, but he will just flop himself on the floor. And yeah, by just leaving him, I think he just gets it out of his system. I just sit there and talk to him very calmly, let him know that I'm there. And when he's ready and when he's finished tantruming, I do give him a dummy. Sebastian does have a dummy. His diddy and his comfort blanket, his muslin is his bobos. And he always holds the corner like this. And then we'll sit and we'll have a cuddle. And that usually calms him down. Not always, but most of the time. If I leave him and let him do it that way, it just gives him that time to kind of let out his anger, but he knows I'm there for him. He knows he can come to me at any time. If he's been naughty, it's a little bit different. Sometimes he does do naughty things and he knows that he's being naughty. He's incredibly cheeky. It might just be he'll stand there about to turn the telly off, and I'll say to him, Sebastian, don't turn the telly off. Sebastian, no. Because I don't like to use the word no very much. I feel like it can be a really negative word sometimes when I just feel like there was a time when I felt like I was saying no all the time. So now I'll say, Sebastian, let's not do that. Sebastian, why don't you play in your kitchen? And try and kind of do it that way rather than just saying no all the time. But I would say, Sebastian, don't turn off the telly. No. And I try and be really firm, but he's still, to him, it's just all a big joke. And if he does do it, then I will pull him away from the telly and just make him sit in a corner. Sometimes he again finds that funny, but again, sometimes he doesn't, and he will end up having a meltdown. And I just look at him right in the eye and just say, you do not turn off the telly, so he knows that I'm being firm with him. And, you know, in those situations, he will melt down and he will tantrum, and I do have to just leave him on the floor. And then when he is ready, he can come to me. He can see that I'm in the room, but I won't kind of... The tantrums where he's upset and he's frustrated with something, I usually kind of am there straight away to try and just sit next to him, put my hand on his back and just let him know I'm there. But when he is naughty, I do take a step back and let him come to me. That's the kind of only tip. That's what I do. I don't know what you guys do. If there's any kind of better tips that you have, please let me know. I just sometimes feel like sometimes children, like, you can't quite reason with them when they're this young, and it can be very difficult to deal with. And sometimes you just do have to let them cry. If he's in the car seat and he's kicking off in the car seat because he's crying, because he doesn't want to go in the car, there's nothing I can do about it. We need to get to our destination, and especially if you've got more than one child, you know, there's things that need to be done. So you can't stop everything just to deal with that tantrum all the time. I know it can be really, really difficult, but I heard that it's a stage that passes, and the way I see it, you know, it's not going to be forever. You know, he's not going to be throwing himself on the floor at the age of 18. He might be, but I doubt it. I mean, of course, every stage of their lives will come with its own trials. You know, teenage years are going to be quite difficult, I think, for anyone, but nothing is ever forever. So just remind yourself of that when you're in that moment. I know it can be very, very difficult. So yeah, so that's that, and that's pretty much it for toddler tantrums. There's not really a lot to report. That's just kind of what we do, and it does kind of work for us. Not work in the sense that it's going to stop them, but it will certainly just kind of reduce the time in which they're tantruming. I do find that really helps. We don't tend, like I said, I pull him to the side to use, like, put him in a corner to tell him something. We don't use a naughty step or anything like that. I feel that Sebastian is a little bit young for that, but not just that, he doesn't really understand it. He will get off and on. I just can't be bothered with that sort of thing. It's just not, I just don't think it's going to work for us. It might work for other children, or even other children I have, but I just don't think it would work for Sebastian. I have tried it, it didn't really work. So we are exploring kind of other methods. So yeah, that's that, and I guess I'll see you guys soon. If you like this video, please click like. I'd so appreciate it if you would like this video. As I've said before, the more likes a video gets, the more other people can access it. So, or the more YouTube will kind of pull it out and people will access it. So if you could like this video, that would be wonderful. And yeah, follow me on Instagram. It's the only social media I have at the moment. It's the only kind of social media I desire to have. I try and post on there as often as I can. I do forget sometimes. And yeah, that's it. I will see you guys soon. Bye. Oh, I have got a blog, and it's been totally neglected for quite a while, but I am trying to get back into my blog. So bear with me. I will let you know when that's kind of, it's up and running, but let you know when it's kind of active again. When it's active again. Anyway. I'm exhausted. I will see you guys soon. Bye.